Shall we head out? All right, no reason to delay. Steam replete with the scent of orchids. Water that turns the complexion a blushing pink. So, this is a hot spring. Yes, there are royal hot springs near Tenshukaku, but the plans were set in motion only after Hiragi Hiroshi introduced the Snezhnayan blast furnace to Inazuma, and that was 500 years ago. When the project was complete, I was already in the plain of Euthymia. And, naturally, the body of the shogun has no need for such luxuries. The members of the Kanjo Commission were once friends with Makoto and the Kitsune Saigu. Although mere mortals, those who managed to survive back then were special individuals indeed. What makes you say that? Now I see why my officials claim that the hot springs facilitate conversation. Even I find myself divulging more than intended. You're correct. Following the dark disaster 500 years ago, a nightmare engulfed Inazuma. On a battlefield consumed in darkness, our soldiers fought against dark forces, creatures capable of possessing people and trapping them in nightmares. Even the Yumeku Ibaku could do nothing to wake them. Perhaps not. The battle was intense. Those who stood up in defense of this land knew the chance of survival was slim. In the face of certain death, surely a nightmare is nothing to fear. But what if I told you this? If the person trapped in the nightmare was strong enough to overcome incapacitation, it would become a waking nightmare instead. The person would lose all capacity to distinguish dream from reality, perceiving everything in the real world as a continuation of the war, and every precious thing in life as an enemy to be annihilated. And every precious thing in life as an enemy to be annihilated. That is a far more painful nightmare, both for the person in question and those around them. Yes. I unleashed Muso no Hitotachi and struck her down. No need. I have no regrets. I know it was the right decision, both for Inazuma's sake and her own. If necessary, I would do it again. Well, it's about time you two showed yourselves, yes? You've listened in long enough.
Oh. Before you say anything, this part wasn't me.
Well, since the cat's out of the bag... How about a hot spring tea party?
Hey!
Ah, nice and warm. No wonder the hot springs relaxed your inhibitions, eh?
So who came up with this idea? I want the truth.
I guess both of us?
Well, I happened to consult a certain clinical psychologist about how to get an old friend to open up. In her expert opinion, doing something new with a trusted companion in a new environment can make someone less guarded. Looks like it worked like a charm.
It's one thing to trust that Miko has good intentions, but would you let your guard down around her?
Your concern is misplaced. I kept these matters to myself because I was unsure whether this incident is connected to the past, and I did not want to interfere with the investigation. If the investigation reached an impasse, or new clues pointed to the nightmare from back then, naturally, I would have discussed this intel with you.
Intel, huh? It appears you still don't understand why I wanted you to open up in the first place.
Hmm?
Help me! Sounds like it came from outside. Let's check it out.
Welcome to Bantan Sangha Detective Agency. What will you have me solve? can find everything and anything in Tsukumomonoku.
Oh no! Someone's unconscious!
It seems different in some respects. Step back and allow me to examine her.
What's going on? Almighty Shogun?
What happened just now? What frightened you?
Shogun,
It's all right. With the Shogun here, nothing can hurt you. Just take a deep breath and tell us what happened.
I almost fainted again just now. Yes, I was on my way to your restaurant. And as I was crossing the bridge, I saw someone staring at me from behind a tree. It was hard to make out their appearance in the dark, but I had a bad feeling. So I tried to get a closer look in the moonlight. And it was me! In that moment, I thought about how people who see their doppelganger usually end up dead, and I fainted from the shock. I don't remember anything after that.
A doppelganger in Inazuma City. But we only detected traces of the nightmare around Mount Yogo.
I heard that people encountered doppelgangers at Mount Yogo too! Could it be the work of some terrible yokai?
Now that we have an understanding of the situation, why don't I take you to the police station to file a report?
Okay.
The situation is getting worse. If the doppelganger is limited to the festival grounds, that's one thing. But appearing on a random street in Inazuma City...
On the bright side, the victim seems okay this time.
Bad news, Shogun!
A Tenryo Commission official? What's wrong?
Another victim! At the festival! Kappa is trapped in a nightmare!
What?
But Sara and the others were keeping watch.
Make haste. Back to Mount Yogo at once.
Kappa! Kappa! Excuse me. Let me take a look.
Mizuki! Traveler! Finally, you're back!
Now is not the time to cast blame. Did anyone witness the attack?
We split up for just a second, and the next thing we knew, he was on the ground.
Oh, it must be some terrible yokai.
How is he, Mizuki?
It's strange. I can't perceive his nightmare. It's almost like he's not there at all.
The yokai! It must be getting stronger!
Kappa, oh, please don't die.
No. It was I who underestimated the enemy. I who allowed us to continue the festival despite the potential dangers. Sarah, what is the status of the other contestants and staff? Good. By decree of the Shogun, I declare that the Mikawa Flower Festival is...
Wait.
What is it, Miko?
You're being too hasty, eh? I understand your concern for the people, but I urge you to think this through, or we risk playing into the enemy's hand. Considering your history with nightmares, you have better cause than anyone to exercise caution. But do you truly believe that what we're facing now is just a nightmare?
Explain.
Call it intuition. If you want the truth, perhaps Doshin Shikanoin could shed some light. I believe there's been a break in the case.
That doesn't sound right. I need to think about this some more.
Kappa is made of wood?
No wonder I couldn't sense the nightmare.
I see. So the doppelganger infiltrated the festival as Kappa and is currently hiding in Inazuma City. Is that correct?
Kozo and his two friends were together the whole time, too. They would have noticed if someone was acting weird. It's a Bakedanaki tail!
Kikaku! Kikaku! Run!
Tetsunosuke?
They're getting away!
Aren't you supposed to be in Inazuma City?
And leave you two by yourselves? That's not the Tanuki way!
No fighting! Let's go!
Bakedanaki! Those little terrors! Come on, let's go after them! Racio, Paimon's had enough of these things! What even are they? More Bakedanaki tricks?
Nothing's working! The humans are catching up!
Little rascals! Stop running!
You wish!
Transform! Stupid humans won't be able to recognize us! You can't see me. You can't see me. I'm up on fire.
Tetsunosuke, you idiot! Don't tell them the three of us turned into bonfires!
Hear that, Traveler? Bonfires! 3 of them! Well,
Ouch! Transform!
they're gone again! No, what are they this time? Some kind of stone or brick? Oh!
Kichiro, protect us!
Save us, Tsukumo! We're almost rid of them.
Ah! A Tengu!
Tengu was flying! Tengu is a cheater!
Tengu, why are you helping the humans? Tengu is a yokai!
Shogun? That's the leader of the humans!
Shogun sent people to steal our land! Shogun is bad!
Calm yourself, Sarah. Let's hear them out.
Shogun sent humans to steal our home!
And the Mikawa Flower Festival! Shogun is making yokai serve the humans!
Serve the humans? He's not talking about the game development, is he?
Shogun even forced Great Baku Yokai to work all night.
Oh, you mean yesterday? That was my choice, actually.
Jeez, where are these ideas coming from?
Stay back!
Humans want to enslave us again!
Hold on. Something's not right. We should try a different approach.
No need. I know what's wrong. They're trapped in a nightmare.
What are you doing? Trying to put Tetsunosuke to work?
Kinkaku doesn't want to stay up all night.
Servitude, enslavement? These might sound like ridiculous misunderstandings to us, but that is their reality right now. A world of despair and fear, where enemies lurk at every turn, devoid of even a single shred of light.
So, they're sleepwalking? How do we wake them up?
If we knew how, we would have done so back then.
Give us your worst! Kinkaku will never leave the Tanuki path! Kinkaku will die before serving you!
Truly?
What are you doing? No, don't!
The humans are everywhere. We can't hide forever.
How long have we been hiding? 100 years? 500 years?
No idea. If Yoroi was still around, he would remember.
Shh, quiet! Someone's coming.
This is a fine piece of land. The grain yield should be exceptional.
Remember to check for traces of yokai in the surrounding area, by order of the Shogun.
By order of the Shogun, we are to exterminate all yokai that cross our path.
Why so hasty? We should leave some alive. We can make them work their own land.
Hey, you know about the Mikawa Flower Festival, right? I heard 50% of the profit is going to the development fund.
Oh yeah, the festival for humans. And...
The festival for humans, and humans alone. The yokai have had their fun. It's our turn now.
That's right. We should put them to work. They're known for their transformations, right? Then the little monkeys can dance for us until they die!
No! How could they do that?
Quiet, or they'll catch us.
What?
What is that? Ah!
Hey, are you alright? Yoko, Kappa, I need help over here! Hold on! We're coming!
The yokai and the humans are unconscious?
The same thing happened to all of them?
The Mikawa Flower Festival!
This yokai can speak!
No, if we don't make it to the Mikawa Flower Festival, Boss Tama will be so upset.
Boss Tama will eat us.
The humans are coming for us. We're gonna lose our home. What do we do?
We infiltrate the Mikawa Flower Festival. We scare the humans away and then they won't come.
But how do we get into the festival?
Boss Toma is the best!
How about we turn into those 3 yokai?
Traveler! Traveler!
Are you all right, Traveler?
Where are we?
Huh? The nightmare is gone. You purified it.
Humans! And a bunch of yokai!
The Mikawa Flower Festival! The humans are gonna... They're gonna... What were they gonna do?
Oh, that explains all the Boss Toma this and Boss Toma that. That was the only thing they could imitate. Wait a second. Hitotsume Kozo and the others should be Akitsu-yuge experts. But this time, Toma did all the work. Paimon can't believe we missed something so suspicious. Oh, you're saying Paimon's deductive reasoning is Hazel level.
Based on your description, Traveler, it's possible these Bake Danuki have been in hiding for 500 years. Sounds like they know Ioroi, too. Why don't we ask him? It's not far.
The protector of the grove. It's been 500 years since our last meeting. Sarah, Hazo, return to the festival to keep watch. The doppelganger incident has been resolved, but the threat of the nightmare remains. I will handle the meeting with Ioroi myself.
Oh, keep it down. Bringing all these people at this hour. Don't you know even statues need to sleep? Shogun! I bow before thee. No, wait, shoot, I'm still a statue. What should I...
All is well, Ioroi, hidden protector of the grove.
Ah, that would be because when Ioroi tried to pluck a nakuweed from the Imperial Garden, A nearly split him in two, Yashiori Island style.
Keep it to yourself, you meddlesome kitsune.
Ioroi, I wish to ask you something.
Anything, Shogun. Absolutely anything. It is my honor to answer.
Suck up.
You could have at least slowed down a little. It took forever to convince them to come with me.
Oh, it's Ioroi! The humans really did kill you!
Your body is stone!
Huh? I am not dead!
Not dead? The kitsune spoke the truth?
This smell is Ioroi!
Yoroi is alive? Yoroi? The humans really did seal you away!
Wait, this must be Kinkaku, and Tetsunosuke! You weren't sealed away?
When the humans, Kamuna Harunosuke, came to hurt us.
We ran and hid. The humans searched and searched. So many friends couldn't move. Our yokai powers were getting weaker.
So we decided to escape the human just as the great Bakedanuki Tsukumo taught us, by digging a hole in the ground!
That's when we uncovered a horn filled with yokai power. It was the will of the great Bakedanuki Gichiro made manifest.
It restored our power, and then we made the human go, ching-chung, yeah,
Oh, and by, ting-tune, yeah, you mean?
We tricked him and ran.
So, you didn't actually beat him up at all?
We've been using the horn to hide ever since. But there are too many humans. It's getting harder to hide.
A horn full of yokai power. Could that be the source of the nightmares? The reason the Bakedanuki are so afraid of humans? If the horn contained the fragment of a nightmare, using its power to hide would spread the nightmare to them. That means the Bakedanuki have been trapped inside this state of anxiety for 500 years.
Ha! I could have told you that nothing good would come from that horn. Using external power is against the Tanuki path.
We strayed from the path?
But the horn helped us hide from the humans. The humans tried to take our land.
On the contrary, the purpose of the investigation was to determine in advance if yokai were present on the land in question. Whether we avoid encroaching on yokai territory altogether or attempt to reach a mutually beneficial agreement, a peaceful resolution was always the goal.
Oh, really?
Wait, that is what the humans said back then, isn't it?
By order of the Shogun, if yokai live here, we need to discuss the proposal.
Ginkaku Tetsunosuke. Not all humans are bad. Yellow Fur over there helped me a great deal, you know.
Besides, the Bakedanuki were only sealed away back then because Yoroi stole that comb.
Yoroi? It's a thief? Yoroi got what he deserved.
How was I to know it was used to make sacred Sakura Daifuku? I gave it back, didn't I?
So the humans were mean for no reason?
Well, if you must know, the young human and I fought. I was perhaps a tad careless, so I conceded the match. Anyway, the point is, neither side is bad.
There he goes again, changing the subject when it makes him look bad.
Now you know. No human is trying to harm you.
So, it was all a nightmare.
500 years in hiding? For nothing.
It was a 500-year-long game of hide and seek. What's so bad about that? Besides, you won.
Huh? We won? Go us! We're even better than Yoroi!
Hey, my game of hide and seek isn't over yet.
Wow, the mind of a Bakedanuki is something else. Still so cheerful even after all that.
That nature is what isolated them from the worst effects of the nightmare and prevented them from causing any real harm. But a nightmare that's still affecting people after all this time? Who could it belong to? A horn buried under Mount Yogo.
Tainted by darkness, the Oni warrior raised her sword against the almighty shogun. Losing an arm and a horn to the shogun's blade, she fled into the forest, never to be seen again. A trusted lieutenant fighting against the forces of darkness, she was once devoured whole by a beast from beyond this world, with the body of a tiger and the tail of a serpent, until she tore the creature apart from within. Thus she earned the name Chiyo the Tigerbite, or Tora Chiyo.
I don't think Chiyo would like that name. Though she escaped the belly of the beast alive, that battle never left her. She saw the memories of her fallen comrades everywhere, slaughtered one after another, until she could no longer distinguish dream from reality. The nightmare twisted every joy in her life, her subordinates, family, and friends, into enemies in need of destruction. It was in that state, trapped in the battlefield of her mind, that she raised her sword against me on Mount Yogo. With the Muso no Hitotachi, I cut off her arm, one of her horns, and a portion of the mountain itself. I suspect that is when the horn in question was buried there.
And subsequently uncovered by 3 Bakedanuki. That means the fragment on the horn comes from Chiyo's nightmare.
Nightmares feed on fear and anxiety. If what the traveler saw is true, it's possible Kinkaku and the others' fear over the past 500 years allowed the fragment to gain physical form and become something akin to a jibakure. An earthbound spirit. They move through the ley lines, but are also bound by them. That's why the traces of this entity appeared intermittently and never outside of Mount Yogo.
It would seem the fragment of this nightmare is no different from the one back then. It hates all joy and every good thing in this world. The investigation team working for a better future? Attacked. Hitotsume Kozo and his friends, kind enough to lend a helping hand? Attacked.
Yeah, and we were attacked too! Right when we were having fun with the playtesting.
Perhaps it needs to regain strength after your defeat. Or perhaps it is biding its time because it knows, with whatever rationality remains, that it cannot defeat you. But sooner or later, its twisted hatred will force it out of hiding, and it will move to strike its enemies. When Chiyo set her sights on a target, she was never one to waver.
Oh.
But both possibilities prove something. Nightmare fragments can be defeated, and an enemy that can be killed is one that can be split in two by the power of Muso Ishin.
There's really no other way?
Mikoshi Chiyo is gone. A fragment of a nightmare tied to a severed horn. That is all that remains. The living must take precedent over the memory of the dead.
Oh, who cares about the dead anyway? I'm just trying to look out for the living.
What is that supposed to mean, Miko?
Oh, I'm just concerned about our poor Bakedanuki friends.
Huh? What does that have to do with us?
The nightmare fragment has been tied to the Bakedanuki for nearly 500 years. Strike it down, and who's to say whether you take the lives of our poor friends along with it?
I beseech you, almighty Shogun, spare the young ones. It was just a momentary... a 500-year-long lapse in judgment.
Miko, You speak the truth?
If you don't believe me, ask Mizuki and the Traveler. I'm sure they've encountered similar cases during their extensive travels.
Well, Oh! Yes, during my studies both in Liyue and Natlan.
Then, what would you propose? This nightmare fragment is a constant threat to Inazuma. Should all other options fail, I will take action.
If the fragment's hatred toward the world comes from a nightmare, then the most logical option is to get rid of the nightmare itself.
Right! Can't you just eat the nightmare, Mizuki?
The Yumekui Baku already tried that 500 years ago. Even yesterday, when faced with the corruption of the nightmare, Mizuki could only mitigate the effects.
What was impossible back then is not necessarily impossible now. I think Mizuki has the right idea. If we cannot eradicate the nightmares directly, why not use this entity's tricks against it? Combat illusions with illusions. Combat nightmares with dreams.
Is that even possible?
Don't forget, there are yokai that specialize in shape-shifting and illusions, and they happen to be right in front of us.
Where? Kinkaku doesn't see them anywhere!
Maybe they're hiding as trees? Or the wind?
Fools! The kitsune is clearly referring to the Bakedanuki. Tetsunosuke, Kinkaku, must you be so dense?
Given their centuries-long connection to the nightmare fragment, they are perfectly positioned to create a dreamscape that the entity will be unable to distinguish from the real world.
Back then, the nightmare had little to no weaknesses. If we want to give the Bakedanuki an opportunity to strike, I assume you have a plan, Miko?
You said it yourself. Mikoshi Chiyo is gone. All that remains is a fragment of her nightmare, already broken and vulnerable. Besides, Mizuki is an old friend, one that is not to be underestimated. She has traveled the land studying dreams and is far more capable than those old fossils back then.
She just usually doesn't compliment me to my face. But Miko's right. If we work together, I'm confident we can put together a ritual to subdue the nightmare fragment.
Once we perform the ritual, it will take some time for the barrier to take effect. Luckily for us, we have two formidable warriors on our side. Our festival representative, who also happens to have extensive experience against dark forces, and the almighty Shogun, unmatched in combat. I'm sure the two of you can buy us some time.
There's just one problem. Since this entity can pass through the ley lines, its movements are unpredictable. If we're going to create a barrier, how can we be sure it appears where we want?
The solution to that is obvious. If the nightmare fragment despises all sources of joy and happiness, then naturally a joyous occasion would be an evil beyond measure, an enemy that must be annihilated at all costs.
So, if we want to lure it out...
The Mikawa Flower Festival!
What joy could possibly compare to finishing one's work right before the deadline?
I would imagine we can all think of a few. But I agree. The Mikawa Flower Festival is the most plausible target. Once the enemy appears, I will pull them into the plain of Euthymia immediately. I will not put the people in danger. Traveler, I ask that you join me there so we can subdue the enemy together.
All right. I will update everyone back at the festival and start the preparations for the ritual. I'll need your help, Mizuki. It's going to be a busy night.
Looks like an all-nighter for me.
Well, this was your idea. Oh, and don't forget, you need to finish a Little Fox's Daydream as well.
And in a surprising twist, you were my nightmare all along.
Well, Eoroi, as I see it, you've been punished long enough. It's about time you were released.
Released? I can do that myself anytime I want. This statue keeps me warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Don't interfere.
Eoroi is the best!
Besides, the seal's power is almost gone. What I really want is for you to help me give that sneaky kitsune a piece of my mind.
Eoroi, she's already...
Not so fast. I won't be fooled by your tricks again. Whatever you were about to say, she can tell me herself, instead of sending some young kitsune to hoodwink me.
Great yokai really wasn't forced to work all night?
That's right. It was my choice.
Why does great yokai have to work?
I suppose it's just the price of becoming a great yokai.
Great yokai? Gingaku is sad for you.